Hey there, hi, welcome to the channel. I am Garrett, and in this video, we are talking about 10 things that could potentially be making a kitchen look cheap and dated. Now remember, these are just my opinions, and if you have any of these things and you love them, then I love that for you. But we've got a number of things to get through, so let's get into the video. Now the first thing that could be making your kitchen look a little bit dated is actually the wallpaper border. I've talked about it before. I'm not a wallpaper border person. I don't love them because I think you have the opportunity to do so much more and do a really beautiful built-in feature, or pull back a little bit and let the actual built-in features that you spent all of that money on speak the loudest. A lot of people also have soffits above their cabinetry. Now, I have shared plenty of times I do not like a gap of space between the top of cabinetry and a ceiling. So a lot of people have soffits, and it was a big popular thing that we did because you don't have to spend the money on cabinetry and you also don't get that space. But some people put wallpaper borders on them. No, not for me. I'm not the one. I don't personally enjoy that. So I think you have the opportunity to do something really cool there, like panel the soffits or even paint them to match the cabinetry to help them disappear a little bit, blend in so you don't see them. I just think there are so many amazing ways to elevate a space outside of just a wallpaper border, because it definitely is starting to feel a little bit dated. Now, the next thing that could definitely be making a kitchen look dated is the fake ivy. This is from that specific time period. You all know exactly what I'm talking about, when you would walk into someone's house and if they had the fake ivy on top of the cabinetry, they were living the dream and the fantasy. That is what everyone wanted, because I don't know why, but we all liked ivy. Well, I never liked ivy, but some people did. So the fake ivy has got to go. We can just empty that out. A beautiful, sleek space that is clean and simple is so much better than something that has a fake plant covered in dust. Now, the next thing that definitely makes the kitchen look dated is themed decor. Everybody liked a theme at one point. We were theming hotels and places and this and that and restaurants and kitchens. And I'm talking about, you know, the very Tuscan kitchen or the French country kitchen, both of which are beautiful when you're in Tuscany or you're in the French countryside, but sometimes can look a little bit kitschy in our homes when we don't live in those areas. So toning that down a little bit will definitely be beneficial. And I'm talking about, let's not go over the top and have grape and wine murals painted in our kitchens. I had a kitchen that had this and it absolutely had to go. We upgraded the backsplash and it looked beautiful afterwards, because I do not live in an Italian restaurant. And if you've got that French country kitchen and you love the atmosphere, the vibe, the feeling, I love that for you. But do we need the rooster decor? Do we need the chicken cookie jar? I think not. We can definitely have some great fun with beautiful accessories without just having like figures of animals and plants and pictures of grapes hanging around our kitchens. Let's lose the themes in the kitchen, the theme decor, and focus more on utensils and items we actually use to cook, because they definitely don't get dated because they're cooking utensils and there's something that's actually there. It's a convenience factor, it's something you need, and it's not a theme that will at some point look dated. Speaking of usefulness and timeless design, that is what we focus here on this channel. So if you have not already, please take a moment and join the LeChic family. On this channel, subscriber is not a dirty word, it's just another name for family. So be sure you take a moment and hit that red button down there that says subscribe, and turn on the bell notification to get notified every time I upload. You're not a commodity to me, so be sure after you have joined our family, you let me know in the comment section down below so I can personally welcome you to the channel. Now, the next thing we are talking about that definitely can make a kitchen look dated and a little bit cheap is the wall sign decor. Now, I love a vintage collectible wall sign moment. I think that's great. And that one-off quirky little wall sign that says something funny, love that. But we do not need to take it over the top. We don't need to be defining what every space is. I don't need a sign that says coffee in the kitchen or eat or whatever. I know it's a kitchen. I know what I came there to do. I know what I'm doing in all parts of the house because we know what area of the house we're in, okay? We get it, we got it. We don't need the wall signs and we know where we are. Sometimes the wall sign signs could be cute in a quirky way, and I understand that, I feel it, it's a vibe, but we can focus on some other type of wall decor that actually works in our space. A lot of people like framed art in their kitchens. I don't recommend getting something that is delicate or fragile, but there are some really great art prints from smaller artists available for download off of Etsy you could get and put them in a frame. That way, if they get messed up, you don't have as much emotional attachment. It's not an antique. Or look for plate racks, spice racks, things you can hang on the wall to add organization to your space. I've got a really great knife holder. It's like magnetic and it holds the knives there. It gives a beautiful industrial feel and look to my kitchen and the space because it's in a great wood tone. It's something really beautiful that is just a little bit better than a word sign. It's also something really useful that alleviates a little bit of storage space in my drawers, which is always great. Look for actual utensils in your house. What could you hang on the wall that serves as something beautiful for you to see, but is not purely decor? I love that in a kitchen because this is a space you're using. It's not a space that is just meant to be beautiful and photographed, and that's great. We all love that, but I need to be able to cook in my kitchen. That's what it's for. So having utensils, items accessible, it's much better than having a sign that says family on the wall. I know who lives in my house, okay? I don't need reminding. We get it, we got it, we love it, but just not for our homes and our kitchens. We can save that for somewhere else or maybe someone else's house. Now, the next thing that can make a kitchen look cheap is actually something I low-key kind of love, but it has to be done right, and that is mixing white and cream. Now, you all know my style is like off-white, white, and blue. That's the only things I like. That's like my comfort zone, what I love in my house, and I love that for me. But if you are not using white and cream correctly together, one will make the other look dingy, dull, and dated, even if it's not. A prime example is if you have cream cabinetry and a white countertop. The white countertop is going to make the cream cabinetry look yellowed. It's not going to look cream. But if you have white cabinetry with a cream countertop, all of a sudden that looks so much more intentional. The same thing goes for flooring. If you're not that person that wants wood floor and you're like, Garrett, it has to be tile, do a white and a cream at a 45-degree angle checkerboard style. That's really great. It's cool. It looks intentional. And layering a white and a cream or a white and an off-white together always elevates a space because it's sophisticated, it's unique, it's unexpected, but you have to use it in the right way so that one shade of white does not make the other look dingy. Also, I usually recommend only sticking to 2 different tones of white. That way we're not building too much and we're not doing something with like a gray undertone when we have a yellow here because it's gonna make one look sickly and the other look dingy. You don't want that. So be very careful when mixing white and cream together because if it's not done right, it could make your kitchen look dated. It could make it look cheap. Now, the next thing that could definitely make a kitchen look cheap is the faux distressing. We are so over it in furniture, and so why would we like it in cabinetry? There's a difference between this kind of faux distressing that's like the brown paint and speckles that does not look real and vintage cabinetry that has character and life to it. That's one thing and entirely separate, which I love. But faux distressing is usually very expensive. It does not get you the bang for your buck. It definitely ages a kitchen to a specific period in time, and that's something we saw with a lot of like French country kitchens. You have the real ones that are beautiful, that are aged and really great, but then you have the faux version of that where you have like the black trim on the cabinet front where it's the raised part of it. It's just not what we need, not what we need to bring into the space. In my opinion, I would have it painted over by a professional because there's nothing worse than a kitchen that is going to have chipping and flaking paint. Just the worst. You don't want that. But covering all of that up, painting it all a solid color is definitely an easy way to elevate a faux distressed kitchen and just make it look more current, more fresh, and a little bit more timeless. The next thing that can make a kitchen look cheap and dated is the fake fruit. I'm 50-50 on the fake fruit. I love that you want to have it out there so you have something beautiful and you're not wasting real fruit that you're not going to eat, but fake fruit it could look fake, and it's kind of like, why is the same fruit there all of the time? Like, you at least have to rotate it through, mix it up a little bit, and nobody wants to have to scrub grease and dust and dirt from the kitchen off of fake fruit. However, fake fruit could be a really great way to test some of your friends' manners. We've all got that friend that's gonna come in and they think this is their home and they're just gonna pick up our fruit and take a bite of it. And I don't wanna chip my friend's teeth, although maybe if she doesn't have manners, she doesn't need to be here in the first place, but I guess that's not the point. It could actually be a safety hazard, I guess. Fake fruit, if you're gonna have it, put it out of the way where it's not reachable by any and everyone, because you know in my house, I've got 3 little baby boys, Linus, Cornelius, and Albert, who are gonna get into any and everything they can. If they have access to it, it doesn't matter if it's real food or not, they're going to eat it, especially Linus. Speaking of which, where is the little prince? Linus, Linus. Oh, there you go. Oh, hi. Oh, yes. What? What? Where have you been? Everybody wants to see you. Are you going to say hi to them? Oh, he's tired of you guys. I'm sorry. Don't be like that to them. Oh, you just want to go sniff around, huh? You're looking for a treat? You're looking for a little snack? Yes, I know. You want to go play with Cornelius. All right, we're going to let you go. See you later. Now, the next thing that can definitely make a home look a little bit cheap, a little bit dated, is the all yellow pine kitchen. Liberace once said that too much of a good thing is wonderful. He was not talking about yellow pine. The issue with the yellow pine kitchen is that in these sorts of spaces, we tend to see a lot of yellow pine on walls, on ceilings, on floors, and all of the cabinetry. Darling, that's a pine box, and we're not going 6 feet under. We're trying to embrace the beauty of our kitchens. So eliminating a little bit of that pine surface will definitely go a long way. And I'm not talking about paint everything, get rid of all of the yellow pine, because I definitely appreciate it, and there's a time and a place for it. But maybe consider having your upper cabinetry professionally painted and then leaving the lowers, the island, or something like that in that wood tone, because it's a great way to freshen and brighten the space up a little bit, bring in some of the light that we need in those kitchens, and definitely modernize them. A two-tone kitchen is very, very in right now, and that doesn't have to be white and pine. You could do a green tone and go for a moodier space. Something like that is definitely going to elevate a kitchen and just make it a little bit more interesting. We can leave the all pine everything to the pine boxes, I guess. I don't know. We don't need to have all pine in our kitchens, and you can definitely mix it up to get a very cultivated look and feel in your house that feels very current and up to date, no matter what kind of cabinetry, style of hardware, or countertops you have in the kitchen. Definitely eliminating one of those pine surfaces will upgrade and elevate the space. Now, the next thing that makes a kitchen look a little bit dated, a little bit cheap, is the glass tile backsplash. We know exactly when you were doing your kitchen, what shows you were watching, who you were following with the glass tile backsplash. We know because it was so popular in like 2006. And that's okay, but we can keep it in 2006. We can upgrade to something a little bit more current, a little bit more neutral. That I think is important in a kitchen. When you're doing something that's really heavily built in and is very, very expensive, you do not want to opt for something that could be trendy now, but isn't later. You don't want something that's gonna feel dated later on. So upgrading the glass tile backsplash is gonna be great. Sometimes you can even tile over tile. Have a professional out to do that, but it's worth looking into. Right now, I'm really loving this trend of the two-tone backsplash countertop in slab stone, but that is a big endeavor, it's a big expense, and it's not something that's for everyone. I've also seen kitchens that are really gorgeous using oversized tile. The stuff you see for floors, the like 12 by 24 inch tiles, that's actually really great, a unique way to get two-toned, get something really hard wearing on your countertop with a more natural stone on the back. I think that's beautiful. It's definitely more timeless than something like a glass tile. Even those hand-painted concrete looking tiles, that is a trend that was popular for a while, for like 2 years, and now we're talking about how dated it is. So definitely consider what you're doing on your backsplash, because it's a focal point in the space. You don't want that to be the thing that's dated, like the glass tile has become. And the next thing that can definitely make a kitchen look dated, and at this point look a little bit cheap no matter how much you spent on it, are curves in the kitchen. Specifically, I'm talking about countertops. We all have seen those kind of 1980s kitchens that have the curved peninsula. They were very cool at the time, but having curves in your kitchen is a trend. It's something we're seeing become very popular with furniture, like sofas, chairs, even media consoles. And it's great for those pieces because they are not going to have the same lifespan as your kitchen, as your cabinetry or countertops. But installing curved countertops or edges, moldings, cabinetry in a kitchen is extremely expensive because it's mostly custom work. And it's not something that's super timeless. Even right now, we're seeing these curved bullnose countertop edges become very dated. So it's not something you want to focus on bringing into your kitchen unless it greatly improves the functionality of the space, which is always the key factor. Like, is it usable? Is it workable? Is it good? Should you keep it? Does it add to the space? And that's the time to think, well, maybe it's dated, but it still works. However, I would not bring curves into a kitchen if you don't absolutely have to. I would recommend, if you are looking at bringing some curved shapes into a kitchen, you focus on some of the accessories and some of the decor. Bring in a round cutting board, bring in some bar stools with curved backs on them. That's a great place to do a curve because you can take advantage of the trend now, you can have a little bit of it, a sampling of it, but you're not going to be overly invested in something that will look very dated. And if you're invested in a round cutting board, well, you could just take that and put it in a cabinet and no one has to see it. That's a great way to take advantage of a trend in a kitchen without making the big investment like a curved peninsula will do, because they tend to look very 1980s and we live in 2022, not 1982. Now, if you have one of these curved countertops, don't go ripping it out just because I don't like it. Think about when you're ready to do your kitchen, if that's something you want, if it's functional for you, or if it's something your kitchen really needs, and then consider eliminating it. But having those curved kind of peninsulas or shapes in a kitchen, in my opinion, is just not very current. It feels a little bit dated. Well, there you have it, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to let me know in the comment section down below and share with me what is one thing that you just can't get around, that it reminds you of a certain period in time and it's so dated in a kitchen. Share with me because I want to hear from you. I also know that you know someone that they are planning a kitchen renovation and they're going to slap some ivy wallpaper up. Are you kidding me? No, share this video with them because friends help friends, and I will see you in the next one.